Hello. Many people think that their money mindset is whether they can attract wealth or abundance. But in reality, our money mindset actually turns up every day in the tiny little choices we make. So, what do I mean by that? Well, here's a quick example. We go to the supermarket every couple of days, once a week, whenever. And while we're at the supermarket, let's say we're someone who is trying to attract more wealth and abundance and they're doing all these plans and everything. But then when they go to the supermarket, they need some beans for dinner and lunch. And rather than choosing the brand that they want, let's say they're a big fan of Heinz, the most popular bean brand, but instead they see the supermarket brand on special. So they choose that instead. And that in itself is a very, very, as simple as that sounds, that is a key component to where our money mindset and our ability to attract wealth really is. And it's not just beans, it's on absolutely everything that we ever purchase. That's where our money mindset really tells us where we're at. Now, there are a couple of things to that. Let's delve a bit deeper. But just remember, before we delve a bit deeper, just please remember to like and subscribe. And click that notification bell as well so that you receive notifications when new videos go out. More about money mindset and abundance and all of those amazing life hacks, I suppose, energetic life hacks that you can do that create a much more peaceful and prosperous life for yourself. So back to the money mindset thing. Why are beans are important? Again, it's not just beans. It could be socks, underwear, cars, the bigger stuff. It's all about not just being financially irresponsible either. I mean, sometimes might just be buying those particular beans that are on special just because we've got a coupon or something like that. Or it could even be part of that manifesting where we've gone, well, okay, I'm going to the supermarket. I'd like my whatever I'm buying to be on special, and manifesting discounts that way so that you've got more money to play with, albeit dollars and pounds, depending on where you live in the world. So the money mindset thing is a very intricate, however yet simple thing, and it requires observation. So again, let's take, go to the supermarket, you want some beans because you're going to have baked beans on jacket potatoes. Lovely dish. And yeah, you go, well, Heinz beans, they're sugar, whatever, they're the better beans. You might prefer a different brand. This is just the example I'm using. And that when you come to actually buying them, you feel that resistance. Oh, but they're like $3. That's pricey for beans. So I'm going to get the supermarket brand that's $1.50. And from experience doing this in the past that they don't taste as good. So dinner's not going to be as good. But you felt that resistance and backed away. That in itself is telling you where your money mindset's really at. You still don't believe you're worthy of the better brand. You're worthy of a better experience. You're not worthy. And that's your own thought and then your own actions. So the way to move beyond that is feel the fear and do it anyway. Because even from a money perspective, if you just continually bought the best brand of beans that you prefer every time, over a 12-month period, you're probably only spending an extra $20 anyway. And there's the thing about it. And when you look at it that way, and so if you don't feel you're worthy for $20 extra, no matter how much fake it till you make it belief you actually have around your money mindset, it's going to be challenging to attract more wealth and more abundance because your actions are saying the complete and utter opposite every time you go to the supermarket, every time you go and buy clothes. So let's take clothes, for instance, like you want Levi's rather than in Australia is Kmart or Target. In England, I think it's Asda. These kind of places that do much cheaper brands that don't last as long. Sometimes when you buy cheap, you buy twice. And what that means is that it doesn't last as long. So you're buying another pair a lot sooner than you would a much quality pair later on. So you end up paying more because you might end up buying 3 pairs that last the length of 1 pair that work out to be dearer over the long run. And these all tie into where is your mindset really at? Where are your actions? Where are your habits? Because money is a habit. It's an energetic habit that we were taught growing up by our parents. Whether you may have grown up in a working class family or may have grown up with a poor family that were striving and struggling to earn every dollar and to spend every dollar, and you're still playing out that habit by choosing the dollar beans over the $3 beans. And $2 is ridiculous, really. And that's also, interesting enough, if you find yourself doing that, if you watch this video and you say to yourself, yeah, I went shopping yesterday and I did that. And no wonder, and I've been doing these mindset, wealth, abundance practices day in, day out, and nothing's changed, and I don't think it works. And then you get given this piece of information, go, well, it's not working because you're not actioning it. And we have to start small. Interesting enough, that's where I started. I started by going to the supermarket going, well, if I buy everything I want, what's the actual difference in price? I looked at it on a logical perspective that helped me get over that barrier. So I was like, I was raised in a working class family. So my belief was to work hard for every dollar. And that's nonsense. You don't have to. And it took me a few years to shift it, but I noticed the gradual shift as I released my purse strings more and more. I found out that the money was always there. That's the great thing, like through observation and looking back, the money turned up. The money kept turning up because money's an energy. It's an infinite energy. There's never a lack of money. There's only our resistance in our belief that creates that appearance of lack. We believe that there's not enough, or I'm only earning this amount per week. And we limit our ability to manifest more income, more wealth, more abundance. So I started giving thanks to my bills. I changed the word bills to investments. That was another little method that I did, because an investment into my water, an investment into my electricity and power, an investment into my phone, they're all investments into having a modern Western world life with comforts. So they're definitely investments. And then investments into my health in regards to food and better tasting and better dinners. So I enjoyed meals more rather than sitting there going, I'm having to put up with this because those I should have bought those, I should have, woulda, coulda. So it's an opportunity. So when you get that resistance on buying anything, that's an opportunity for you to take 30 seconds and say, am I making a responsible financial decision here? Or am I reinforcing a mindset of lack? Even though I may have been doing inner work mentally, you've also got to do it physically. We live in a physical world. Yes, we can manifest our world, our thoughts create our reality, but we still have to take the physical world action to embody it into this realm. So the both, as above, so below. As you can't just live in the mind, you have to live in the body. And feeding that body as well, looking after that body, is also investment. So when you invest in your health, you invest that in your health predominantly via good food. And good food, usually, not always, is usually a little bit more higher in value. So therefore you pay more for it. But you invest more. And the more you invest, the more you get a return. When you think about banking terms, the more you invest, the more you get a return. And energy works exactly the same. The more you invest, the more you get out. And it's depending on your strength of mind and your strength of will and your ability to move through those walls. When you feel that resistance before you buy something, that determines how quick you can shift your mindset. Good thing is, once you get this in place, it's a repeatable pattern, and you can just expand it, double down, and then you can start looking at going, well, for instance, I started doing this work years ago. I started with the beans and then expanded into a few more things, clothes, whatever. And then it got to a point where I needed a new vehicle. So I did all the manifesting techniques, wrote the list. This is the kind of car I want. But I wanted a much, much newer car because I was used to buying a 10-year-old car. But I wanted a new one. Or at least one that was no more than 2 years old, and that was on my list. And the way it transpired was the money presented itself, because it happened during COVID when you was allowed access to your pension, super, which then enabled me to, the money came, it was already there, and I was able to buy a brand new car that I'm still driving today. So all of a sudden I went from an old 10-year-old car to a new car through gradual that all started from buying the beans that I wanted. And then I just kept working on it, and then just kept again loosening those purse strings a bit more and more. And every time I went to buy something, going, well, do I want to invest in myself and buy Levi's, or do I want to go to Target and get $20 jeans? Now, I have done that again. I have recently done that, because I just, sometimes it is literally just a case of going, well, I'm nowhere near where I can buy Levi's, or the Levi's are $150, and I only just want a DOS pair, you know, and then it becomes a responsible financial decision, because there's a lot of different factors that come in and go, well, in this particular instance, it's actually an investment and the best option to buy jeans that are $25. And so it's still okay to buy what you'd consider cheap, as long as it's still coming from that wealth abundance mindset, and you're not doing it because, well, I don't want to spend $150 on a pair of jeans. It's nonsense, because it's not. But there's also financial responsibility, because if you're always buying $150 jeans or whatnot, and you're putting yourself in debt, that is still part of the same lack of abundance. Because when you're in debt, you're in a negative balance. So there's no abundance, there's minus abundance. And that's self-sabotage, and that goes into a whole different, that's a completely different video. So money mindset. Pay attention. So, you know, pay attention to what that really means. If you need to, if you're very grounded and you've got a good logical mind, it's worth going, well, if I buy all the things I want, what's the difference? And you'll find it's usually no more than $20. So you've got $20. Everybody does, really. And then you take that leap, and then you'll find that resistance goes, and then you'll find it's more pleasurable going shopping. So yes, observation is key in the physical realm to where your money mindset really is. And it all starts with a can of beans. Thanks very much for watching. There's other videos. If you want to delve deeper into the money mindset, I do have a video that you can watch every day that's an I am affirmations about wealth and abundance. So tailor that with buying the beans, and that also helped me shift my mindset as well. So the link will be in one of these corners. I'll make it as one of the end videos that you can watch on a daily basis, or twice daily, depending on where you're at. Well, thanks very much for watching. My name's Roy, aka Merlin. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.